To whom much is given, much is required. Part of that requirement is sharing. Culture is the heartbeat within our lives, and it's at the core of so many things. While we live in a time when we are starving for wisdom, I welcome you to your wisdom retreat at Culture Raises Us. When you hear somebody say culture, what does that mean to you?
A way of life.
Okay.
A culture is a way of life. A real culture is a way of life. If you take the different versions of culture and say that's a culture of some kind of a strain of something, that strain is alive. You know what I'm saying? The things that when you actually use real culture, or the word culture and the real meaning of culture to, those things are actually alive, and they're breathing, and they have tangibleness to them. You know what I'm saying? There's sometimes we throw the word around too much, and then, you know, instead of going, well, what does that word mean, and say, should we use the word that way? You know? It gets watered down a lot.
Oh, a ton. And I think, again, that's one of the things I like to discuss and dissect, because I think culture is critical across professional, personal, within our respective culture, because I also feel like, and I'd love to get your POV, I feel like we were the generation at the beginnings of creating cultures. Like, I don't remember hearing culture growing up, or even knowing what it was like that.
That's the problem. We probably didn't necessarily know what the word was, but then once you get a clear understanding of it, I would be wrong to say that we're of the generation that was of the beginning, because there was culture way before we existed, and there was different kinds of, ways of life. You know what I'm saying? The culture is a way of life. So to say it would start when we were young, that would be wrong. To say the hip hop culture started from our time would be much better, but it actually, it was jump started by people who were a little older than us, a little,
Right.
but still they were a little older than us. So they were a different generation, and I guess that's why that generation looks at the younger generation in a weird way.
Understood. Facts. And I think, so with that being said, for those who don't know you and have an idea of who you are, I'd love for you to give a quick high level, who's Clark Kent? A little background for the people.
God-fearing husband, father, music, the embodiment of music, and a fresh addict. And I've been a producer. I am a DJ. I produce when I feel like it. I'm a brand consultant, so I do things that can help brands for the betterment of those brands. And besides that, the most important thing is I'm God's child.
You are so God's child. And that is our most important job and responsibility that you and I speak about often, and it's intertwined in literally everything we do. Obviously, throughout this, I'm going to be giving you your flowers on a number of things, and to say that you have been at the epicenter of helping what I call shaping the culture, and I'm glad you corrected me the way that you did in the beginning, because you're absolutely right. There are a number of cultures that had been present way before us, right? And I should have been a little bit more detailed on when I talk about youth culture as we know it today and the components that have shaped it: music, fashion, footwear. That's what I was referencing. But you were spot on with, right, there were definitely many cultures that existed prior. But when I talk about shaping the culture as we know it from a music and a footwear standpoint, it's a real understatement to say that you're at the epicenter. A huge understatement. I've personally and professionally had a front row seat to really see it. And I want to know what seed it is that you watered it, and then and now, to kind of
Yeah.
maintain this ability to see something before anyone else, right? Because you've done this heavy in music, you've done it heavy. I mean, and again, heavy is an understatement, but
Yeah.
there's a seed that you have, and again, premise of this: to whom much is given, much is required. Part of that
Uh,
requirement is sharing. I'd love for you to share that, because the hope is somebody else sees something in themselves to be able to pick up on this gift that you definitely have.
well, I guess like the most evident part of this gift would be the fact that I can spot great talent.
Boom.
Um, I think that gift comes from the fact that I am greatly talented. You know what I'm saying? Because talent begets talent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be talented to be able to see and understand the next talent. Um, I am a music junkie. There isn't anything that I won't listen to. I want to understand why every song was made. I want to understand why every line is said. I want to understand why when it comes to music. So because of that, I pay much greater attention to the details than most people do. So like let's say I hear a rapper. The first thing I figure out is he an MC or is he a rapper? Once I figure out is he an MC or is he a rapper, then my expectations of the talent change. So I want this thing that we were clearly at the beginning of to stay magnificent. You know what I mean? I don't want it to start to get horrible where someone my age goes, I just hate this thing. You know what I mean? But this thing is something that we built, so we
Right.
shouldn't hate it. Be able to understand why it's moving in the way that it's moving, and as the grown-ups in it, be able to speak to the youth and say, well, this is where you're going wrong, and this is how you get it right. But you can't really do that if you don't know how to spot the talent. And the talent comes from really listening and really caring and then remembering, okay, well, hip hop, the rap music was a contact sport. It was who's going to be the best, who's going to be the best all the time. You know what I'm saying? And then if you're looking for greatness within these things, you should be looking for the ones who are going to be the best or who are going to get looked at as the best. Now, since I saw it from the beginning, I watched how the best became the best. And I watched how and what we judged the criteria of looking at them like from the gate. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you saying things that are incredible in an incredible way? You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And that becomes a thing that matters to me. It's like, what is the artist saying and how is he saying it? So it doesn't matter if he's politically charged, if he's street charged, if he's, you know, all in his feeling. It's how witty are you about the things that you're saying for me. So
Mm-hmm.
I, I stay trying to hear somebody say something in a witty way and sound smart and not necessarily have to sound like book smart, but sound like they have some level of introspectiveness to them that they can look deeper into the things that they're saying. So when they say them, it's better than just anyone else saying it. So
Well,
because
I mean,
I saw the greats, I saw Grandmaster Caz up close and personal, and listen to the way he crafted his rhymes. I damn near used to recite his rhymes when I would hear his tapes, learn his rhymes. I learned all of his Grandmaster Caz rhymes, and then I started to understand what makes an MC great or a rapper great, and because of that, and then you add on the fact that I feel like I'm responsible to our culture. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Well, I don't want trash out there. I
Right.
want the good
Well,
stuff out there.
you know, it's crazy as I'm listening to you talk and remembering scenarios and things that you wanted to do. It sounds like from day one, you've always had like a coach element in
Yeah,
you.
yeah, for sure.
Always. So, and I'm going to get to this later, but as I'm listening to you talk now about the early times and the things you were looking for, and I'm sure you then shared with some, which we're gonna talk about. I remember when you wanted to come into Nike and Adidas and be like, yo, Astor, I want to be a coach. Like literally, that was a
Mhm.
title. You're like, yo, I need you to position me to be a coach of the team to help guide them, direct them on how to get after this business organically.
Mhm.
And now I'm putting this together that you've actually been doing that since day one in music,
Yeah, like
which
since I was a kid.
changed all of our lives with who in particular you poured into probably on a regular basis.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. I I want to be a guy who fosters the great talents. You know what I'm saying? Like when I came into Nike, I looked at the room like there's some talented people here. But if
Mm-hmm.
there's just talented people doing their one job and then they come and they have a meeting, but no one's saying, okay, guys, let's rally behind this. Let's figure out how to get this to be the most incredible thing we've ever seen. Then it's just a bunch of people sitting behind their cubicles thinking they're doing an amazing job when they might not be told, you know, it's really not that amazing. But if you worked with him, it might be better. You know what I'm saying? So I can see the the ability for things to be great at a bunch of different places and a bunch of different things. I just think that someone needs to sit back and go, this is how we get it to be great. And I
Right.
always wanted to be that. So like when DJ Scratch at 12 or at 11 is at my house when I'm 13, saying I want to be better. I'm like, well, cool, we're gonna make you better. Well, I coach them in my house, like be
Mm-hmm.
better. You know what I'm saying? Like let's figure out how we take over Brooklyn and then slowly take over the rest of New York. But we got to figure out how. How do you do that? You got to be best because in the context for the DJing, you got to beat everybody.
These principles literally, it's so crazy. Just the other day, seeing you at Complex Con, we talked about something, and all of these principles are still very consistent about this
Right.
being better and than what was already great. And we'll talk
Right.
about that as well. And so, you've worked with many artists, you've
Uh-huh.
worked with labels, you've worked with companies. At any point over the years, was there a particular moment when you realized how big and instrumental music or the music culture as we know it and the footwear culture was in terms of shaping the culture that we live in today? Were there like any iconic moments that you remember, like, Astor, you know what? When this happened, I said, oh, we're on to something different and big. This is not what we envisioned and way bigger than that now.
I think musically, or should I say rap musically, I would say the ascension of Run DMC. Let me
Mm.
know we could just be ourselves and people are gonna accept what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because before all the rappers wore costumes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Run DMC went on stage in the things that people on Hollis Ave were wearing. They went on stage being Hollis Ave boys. And
They translated their real life onto.
right, as soon as you started to be able to translate your real life, um, in the whole sense of it, not just in the music sense of it. Because if you remember when Melly Mel made the message, Melly Mel and Duke Booty, when they made the message, when you saw the video, they were in costumes in the streets of the Bronx, where like, yo, dog, who's wearing a costume out there? But that's rappers were wearing costumes. When you heard, tougher than I mean, any Run DMC record, Rockbox, when you heard that and then you saw the video, you were like, oh no, they look like my man's up the street. And that meant, oh, you get to be yourself. And even though, you know, 70% of rappers are just telling stories, most of them are lying. The
Right.
the visual part of it, with them being able to be themselves fashionably, changes the way everything starts to look. Because in our world, for some reason, artists are so influential to people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and because of that, when you're looking at them, like if they wear a Gucci sweatshirt or a Louis Vuitton sneaker, you're just like, oh no, that's cool. Why is it cool? It's cool because of them. What they don't know, like the masses don't know, is it's someone else that's giving this guy his
That
look.
part. That part.
I come from the I come from being outside. I'm gonna put it that way. I come from being outside. So when you come from being outside, you know who the leaders are. And the ones who are outside, those were the leaders. Run DMC didn't dress like Run DMC, they dressed like the Supreme Team.
But so
You know what I'm saying?
listen. Another component with this is highlighting the fact that they're what we call cultivators, and they're the
Mhm.
individuals and the people who really shape the culture. The artists and the influencers are just the conduits or the individuals that literally take what these cultivators have already planted, and it's exactly what you just said. And
Right.
they're individuals within our community, in communities in general, who are the
Right.
ones who are truly cultivating what this culture is. It's just being visualized and embraced by the conduits of these artists or these influencers
Right.
who are then at the forefront. But you said it so perfectly. They get it. They get it from somebody else who's the one that's
Yeah.
influencing the influencer. And I'm so glad you positioned the Run DMC piece the way that you did and the significance of it, because it's about the empowerment of being your authentic self. And look what could come from it. Not
Uh-huh.
just for you as
Uh-huh.
individuals, but I think
Right.
as people who can then view it and galvanize around it to support it, but also
Uh-huh.
find their authentic self in whatever it is they choose to do. And
Exactly.
the hope is that people take that Run DMC element and we create more opportunities in space for people to be their authentic self and look what can come from it. So
Right.
I'm so glad you mentioned that the way that you did as to why it translated for you, and why it
Uh-huh.
represented so much for you, because you saw them take it from what they got in the street from the real cultivator,
Uh-huh.
whoever that was,
Yeah.
and then translate it
Supreme Team.
into, yeah, there you go, and then translate it
It,
into
yeah.
something that for the masses was like so different and cool.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, I love that. And so uh, one of the things, and I
What's
talked about it.
crazier? What I want to say is what's crazier is like most people from our era who understood that a certain way won't mention that.
That's right.
If you ask that same question, they won't mention it, but respectfully, they would be wrong because
That
someone
part.
had to do it first. And
Yep.
the first ones who went on stage looking like themselves and looking like their environment was Run DMC. I'm not even speaking the music part. The only reason why I could say Run DMC is because one, they look like themselves, but two, they had enough presence within the music and their heightened level of celebrity made them so visual to us that you could look at them and go, they look like us. But imagine if their records didn't hit,
Right.
we might have still been in costume.
Yeah.
Because Melly Mel and Duke Booty, that record was, to me, that's like one of the best rap records ever. Is the message. Like, imagine if they were just wearing regular clothes.
Yeah.
They was in costumes. Melly Mel with his shirt half off, all of that. You know what I'm saying? We was like, why are you dressing like that, dog?
Right. Right. What do you? Who are you?
You you only wear that stuff when you was on stage.
Right. That's not
Like, look,
24/7.
yeah, like, come on, dog, get to it, be yourself.
Well,
I
that's
never
the other
wore a
thing.
costume when I
We're
was
so
DJing.
authentic. We see through all these things, which
I'm
leads me
looking.
to my next little question. Of you have been so adamant, and many will have no idea, but I've seen a lot of these struggles. You were so adamant, in pushing through a number of walls and hurdles to have a voice in a lot of these footwear spaces, within particular companies. And I
Right.
want to know, why was that so necessary for you? And you've kind of already alluded to a number of things, but for you, why was it so necessary to have a voice?
Because we were the reason they existed.
Both.
We were the reason they kept money is the community of folks that are just wanting to buy sneakers. And I'm not saying black people, I'm not saying white people, I'm saying people. The customer is the answer to every good company. So as a person who was a consumer, to be able to be in the room, to even be able to have a conversation, my conversation better be elevated because I'm speaking for the consumer.
Right.
Like like with like I've explained on plenty of times, when I work with a brand, the things that I make with the brand are going to be better than the things that they make regularly because I believe they need to give back to the consumer. So instead of giving them a polyurethane sneaker, no, I'm gonna give them a leather sneaker. You know, use the good leather. You can't tell me go inside of my fabric library and pick what you want to use and don't think I'm gonna pick the best in the room because I want the quality of it to be the best. And then I don't want you to jack the price because of it. I want you to be able to say, all right, this is what he authentically came up with. We got to sell it for what the price of what these things would normally cost. We might so-called take a L, but like if it's a message I'm trying to send, I'm not going out half-cocked with the message.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be right. So I wanted the conversations that I was having to be directly effective to the consumer.
Yep.
So when I'm speaking to a brand, I'm not speaking from their point of view. I'm speaking from, I buy sneakers.
Yeah.
Yo, I buy records. Yo, I buy clothes. Like, you can't come to me and say, hey, let's do something, and I'm not going to make something that's better for the customer. The
Right.
customer got to win because you win because of the customer. You owe
But I think
us.
you're also open to additional thoughts and ideas within that. And I
Yeah, for sure.
remember which I think was actually your first collaboration in the footwear industry was the pack we did together.
Right, for sure. And
And
I know I'll never forget. Like you, it's something that you kept doing through the whole meeting because we were there to talk about what would become 21 Mercer. And like 5 minutes into the meeting, I was like, "Yo, can I make a shoe?" And you were just like, "Big bro, calm down." You tap me on the side. You're like, "Calm down." And I'm like, 20 minutes go by. "Yo, can I make a shoe?" You were like, "Calm down, relax. We're not here for that right now." And I'm like, okay, my little brother's trying to school me on something. These people need to know I want to make shoes. So I just kept saying it. And at the end of the meeting, he was like, you know what? Let's sit you down with Mark. But you were so calm about it. You were like, his energy is in a totally different space. How am I going to get him to focus on what we're focusing on? You did a good job at it.
thank you, sir. And what it was me not wanting any distractions to get us to the place of what I knew you deserved and
Right.
what was warranted and what was right for the business. And
Mm-hmm.
so when we did that pack, initially it was exactly what you just said. I want to make a shoe. And what was the shoe that everybody
One.
associated with
Only
shoe?
one.
But look how, but listen, is this not the story of look how God works? We make these plans and we've got these visions, and it's so much bigger than what we can ever think because what comes back and happens. I do all my posturing and my positioning in the back with leadership. This is what we need to do. And the way that they say they're open to doing it is, well, can he help us with some other shoes? Not just the Air Force One. We're doing pretty well with that. I mean, real talk, it was $1 billion business at that point.
Dollar?
Can he help us with some other shoes? I said, well, what are we thinking? Well, we got these other shoes that we're trying to build some momentum around, and maybe we can have them do a one pack. All
I
ones.
remember.
Air Max 1, Trainer 1, and then Air Force 1. I was like, you know what? Might not be a bad idea. Because what I don't want to happen is I don't want to lose the opportunity of giving you the platform you deserve. Again, not
Right.
because I love you as an individual, because it was the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do. And I came back to you. And you were what? Let's do it.
Mhm.
Let's do it. Where you could have just been like, no, Air Force 1 are done.
What's crazy is the funniest part about it was I sit in front of the screen with Mark. I come up with it in 2 minutes, and you walk out the room, and all of a sudden you come back and we're doing a ones pack. I'm like, yo, what happened? I need one shoe. I
Right.
just need
I'm
one
like,
kit. Like, I'm going to see Bobito with this. I got to shit on Bobito. If this shit on us with that white and burgundy Air Force One with his name on the side. I'm like, white and burgundy, even though it was super fire, low marine colors, I was just like, well, no, I'm gonna make something that's gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
If I get the
You always,
chance, it hurts you.
you
Contact
you
sport,
you were
man.
ready for battle, contact sport. It
Contact
was
sport.
always a battle for you. It's always the one up. And listen,
Yeah.
I'm seeing these consistencies in everything you do. It was the one up. And the
Yeah,
one up
because
was
but here's the reason why. Because if you got a bar, what's the point of being under the bar? You should be trying to be the next bar.
man.
Like if you see something and you go, damn, and it's aspirational to you, you don't want to just get it. You want to become the thing that's aspirational to the next guy. If you
Man.
really care about people, you know what I'm saying? I care about people. So I looked at Bobby and I'm thinking, he's got an amazing shoe. Like, no, I got to have a much more amazing shoe. Then when it became, we're going to put the shoes out, then I'm like, oh no, I got to be responsible to the kid.
Mm-hmm.
So now I think totally different. Ain't even about Bobby though. Once you put me in a ones pack situation, it's, will these kids wear this? Is it wearable? Does it make sense? Do the colors work for it? Like all of that came into mind as soon as you say, what do you think about Trainer One? Oh, no, it first was, what do you think about Air Max Ones? Oh, Air Max One's second favorite shoe. We get it on the screen, 3 minutes, it's done. What do you think about Trainer Ones? Well, but I work.
Right.
I put it together. What's crazy is most people don't know there was an Agassi. There was an Agassi in the mock-up, but it wasn't part of a ones pack. But we just did it anyway, just having fun. Like imagine if that Agassi happened.
Yeah.
I still got the artwork for it. I'm like, imagine if that Agassi happened. You know, if they want to go back Agassi, might want to come holler at me. You know what I mean?
For the
But
112 version.
right, for the 112 version, absolutely. I did so many 112. Like, you're the reason that they're called 112. Because when I was like, Brooklyn, he was like, you got to think a little harder. Like, 718, he was like, and then I thought immediately, like, I'm not giving the Queens or the Bronx or Staten Island any shot. This is a Brooklyn shoe. When I came up with 112, you were like, see, now you're thinking. I was like, oh, I made Astor proud.
You made me super proud because you pushed the envelope, and it was the depth of storytelling, which again is synonymous with you, right? There's depth. Nothing is just done to be done. Everything is thought through. The phone booth, everything is thought through, and that's why I just wanted to continue to push you, and that's why I was also open to being like, let me bring the option back of the Max One and the Trainer One to see what he thinks to push, right? Because then I think now we could look back in hindsight and be like, and look at all the things that then opened up. You were no longer positioned as the Air Force One guy. It's like, no, you're the footwear guy. You can have carte blanche. I think basketball came after you after that. All these other categories came after you after that. And now you're doing collaboration. You might have been at the cusp of leading the charge of packs. I don't remember how many, there were some packs, but that was one of the more impactful packs that came to fruition. Yeah, so with that, I've got to ask this question, and I don't think I know the answer, but what shoe do you think kind of changed the entire industry and footwear culture in general for you?
Puma Clyde. Because they were in the hood, they were the first shoe that we wanted because of the athlete. You know what I'm saying? Clydes were like, it's crazy because Puma Clydes and Puma baskets are almost identical, but Clyde said Clyde on the side, and Clyde gave us a championship. And Clyde was the coolest person in the world. And Clyde wore beautiful clothes. He had his own sneaker with the gold foil on the side, and he drove a Rolls Royce and he came to the hood. Like he's a super duper star. You know what I'm saying? We playing basketball in the street. He could pull up to the court in a Rolls Royce. Like, what? Like you super fly. You super fly. That's it. We are super fly before Clyde was Pee Wee Kirkland.
Right.
Going to the basketball and seeing him be the best basketball player in Rucker Park, and then he drives off in something that's a spaceship. Like, yo, you a superstar. When Julius Erving came, it was cool. But you Pee Wee Kirkland. You one of us. We see you outside.
Right. Outside.
Clyde was
we see you outside.
Clyde, this outside of this, Clyde come from a pimp town. He dressed like a pimp. Clyde dressed like a pimp. And we looked at it like, nah, he's Shaft. He's Superfly. He's the greatest. And he had these sneakers that was suede with his name on the side. And it was aspirational to get those Clydes because we loved Clyde.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And like most sneakers of that time, athletes were able to drive them. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
It was like,
That's right. It wasn't the streets or the people.
it wasn't the
Right.
streets, it was the athletes because, and it was mostly basketball athletes because basketball was the only sport that you didn't have to have equipment for except for basketball. So it worked better in the hood. You didn't
Right.
have to ask your mother to go buy you pads to play football and cleats and all of that. When you want to play basketball, I mean, when you want to play baseball or soccer or football or whatever, that's extra money. Shucks, we would play basketball in any sneaker. But then we would look at our superheroes and go, what are they wearing on their feet and how can we make that cool? And if we can make it cool, yeah, we running with that.
Yeah, it's crazy to see the evolution of just how much we used to follow those individuals, and
Right?
now we've become those individuals within our respective communities, or they're
No, what's great? No, what's crazy is athletes follow us.
that part. So, but that's, and so look at now it's coming back to the cultivators, or
Right.
actually now also the influencer and the one that everybody's looking at as what are they doing?
Yeah. I that word influencer, one time it got put on me and I was like, I don't know if I can't carry that. I wouldn't want to carry that word. I'd want to be someone who cultivates. I don't want to be somebody who gets told this is what's fresh. You go tell everybody else what's fresh.
Whoa.
Because most of these people who are looked at as influence of the word influencers now are people that brands say, here, we're going to get this money. Tell everybody it's amazing. Like, dog, that's not influence.
Right.
That's marketing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but I would challenge you in saying that I think within a cultivator, there's an element of influence. And
Absolutely.
influence.
I'm not going to say no to that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do hear exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. I guess what I'm basing my comments on are the ways that the terms are used today.
Yeah.
If you told me in 89 I was an influencer, I'd be like, okay, bet. Because when everybody was wearing troop jackets, I was wearing Michael Hogan jacket. And Michael Hogan jackets are the jackets that the troop jackets copy. So I'm like, oh, you wearing a copy? Cool, go do that. Queens did that.
Right.
Brooklyn didn't do that. Brooklyn water, I know it might cost a little more and it might be a little harder to get it. But your jacket wants to be this jacket.
Right.
So I remember when we all figured out Dapper Dan. It was like, Dapper Dan's making this, he's making that, he's making this, and you go in and you buy it. And then all of a sudden one day, out of nowhere, by accident, you driving up Madison Avenue and you see an MCM store. And I'm just like, there's an MCM store?
How about that?
Especially because when he was making this stuff with MCM, nobody knew what MCM was.
Right.
We just was like, that's the new DAP shit. So we just bought it. But then I found an MCM store and I'm like, I go in the MCM store and yeah, they a little snooty. They looking at me crazy, but I'm like, I buy MCM. I believe.
Right.
You know
right.
what I'm saying? I walk in the store. As far as I'm concerned, now I got somewhere to go else that I could buy it.
Right.
And in the store, it's pieces that I ain't never seen. So I'm buying the sweatshirts, the t-shirts, the glasses, everything. I'm going on the road. Tommy Mickens, Tony Montana from Queens, he come on the road with us. He see me wearing real MCM that I'm going, I got from the MCM store. There's an MCM store? Yeah, Tommy, there's an MCM store. Now we're like, wait a minute. Now I find all the other stores. So I'm just like, why am I running the streets to get all of this money to go up here to spend it? And it might not, it's just not what it's supposed to be. Yes, he moved the game around uptown, and I respect him to the point where they had to come back to him and go, yeah, let him do what he gonna do,
Right.
and
Because it's helping them.
give him the actual material, please give it to him, give him whatever he needs, because he's helping us, because he helped us back then and we didn't even know he was helping us.
Mm.
That's it. So,
Bro,
but now I'm just like, oh, I know what it was. Our people were scared to go in these stores because of the way that they acted when we go in the store. But the thing is, if you look at yourself like you're different, then you're gonna feel different
mm,
when they treat you a certain way, because you already
mm.
feel like maybe they don't. I'm not supposed to be in there. There's never been a place on earth that I felt like I wasn't supposed to be. Never, and there never will be. There's never gonna be a store where I feel like I'm not supposed to. Dog, every store works off of one premise: green. And if I got it,
Right.
it's to be purple, homie. I don't care. And yeah,
Yeah, no, I just think that is a perfect element of, your value doesn't decrease based off of somebody's inability to see your worth.
nah,
And you embody that, and it's not something that everybody has, but it's my hope that everybody understands that they can unlock that, because I think once you do that, you're just a better contributor to the world,
right.
because
Yeah.
we all have value, and just because somebody
Oh
else
no,
can't
we all
see it
have
don't mean it's not there.
right. We all have tremendous value. Tremendous value, not just value.
Tremendous.
I'm not speaking like just black people. I'm speaking like people
Yep.
all have tremendous value. They gotta
1000%.
and the thing is, because of the way our people have been pushed to the side and degraded and dismantled and torn apart and stripped of everything that they naturally are, their ability to believe that they have that amazing
Thing.
thing is just not there.
It's
And
yep.
it's really hard. So we got a people who are literally some of the most talented on earth, who don't really get to believe and show that they're that talented.
Mm.
So it's a struggle, it's a fight, and I make it my business to, wherever I go, level the playing field. I don't care what
Yep.
color you are.
Yep.
Let's look at the facts. Are you
Yep.
talented? Because if you're
Yep.
talented, then you belong here. If you're not talented, you're a consumer, which is perfectly
Right.
fine.
Yep. And you know what? You hit it on the head when you talk about some of these talents won't come out, and who do we do the biggest disservice to? Well, it's not only ourselves and everybody around us, but God, right? Because
Right.
God has put all these gifts in every one of us, and it's so unfortunate that not every gift, or I'll even make a stronger correlation. Not every song is going to be played. There are going to be
And
songs that are not going to be played just
yeah,
based off of how our society and culture has minimized, diminished, or not created space for some of
right.
these gifts and songs to be played and heard, which is so unfortunate. And that's why, to your point, I too have been one to try to ensure that I'm trying to help create as much space for people's gifts to shine, even with my own girls. I mean, that was one of the best examples of, when we found out Bobby, sings and had this thing about singing or just
And
performing in front of people. We were fortunate enough to figure out how she was bent, and then we supported that, fueled that. Fast
same goes
forward,
with career.
exactly with art, exactly. It's
Yeah.
what do you see that you then continue to pour into, and it's very circumstantial, right? Because not all
And
people have the opportunity to tap in and actually do something about it when they see these gifts, whether it's resource or mindset. It's unfortunate, but when you do, there's a blessing that comes that's way bigger than just self-serving. It's one of
for sure.
it's changing and serving society. You and I have always had many conversations, but I've also heard you with others, and you would always ask people, how can I help you? And again, all
Right.
this is making so much sense now. Even more,
Right.
You always ask, how can I help for you? Or you say, what can I do for you? Like
Right.
literally, I've done this to me and to many others. And again, total reflection of the person you are, and the definition of humility for real for me when you talk about not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. Always
And
thinking about others and asking, is there someone or something that you'd want to help right now and why? But then I want to flip the question back to you of saying, how can I or someone help you right now? So there's two critical pieces here. Who and what you potentially want to help right now, and then
I want to
how
help. I
can,
want to help. I want to help our people believe in themselves to the point where they trust each other.
mm, okay,
I'm not saying a particular person. I'm basically saying our race of people. I would love to help our people believe in themselves enough to trust one another. Because when we do, the playing field is even. Because then
mm,
we get that thing that we kind of lost along the way. We get our culture back for
mm,
real. We're not trying to live up to what the next man is doing. We're trying to live up to what we should be doing. So if I would love to be able to figure out a way, like, and I know education is the key. That the problem is people don't necessarily have the bandwidth and time to sit around and get educated.
right,
So that's that.
love
Um,
that. Helping you.
helping me.
I've never seen you take this long to answer a question before, which once again plays into everything that I know of you are constantly thinking of others and less of
And,
yourself. But I also had a very real conversation with you within the last couple of months of
and
you need to allow us to be a help to you. So I'm going to need you to put the same amount of energy and time into thinking through that. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it still plays within everything that you stand for.
guys,
How can we help you?
the easiest way to help me is to align with the mind state because my mind state is not crazy. My mind state is I'm gonna be positive all the time. If you're positive all the time, then you're truly trying to help all the time. But if I can get everyone around me to get in that frame of mind, do you know how easy it is to help somebody?
Mm,
It's
yeah,
super easy. Why you don't do it? Because your selfishness has you in a place that you believe you will lose something if you help somebody. Actually, you gain something if you help somebody. So what what any and everybody could do for me to help me would be to get their mind state in the right place. Because this world is so bent on chasing dollars all the time to you think you need all of this money to take care of your family and you think you need all it. You need a community. And if you don't change your mind state, you won't get a community. That's why they call where we live the hood instead of a neighborhood, because we're not neighborly,
mm,
because we don't trust each other. If you don't change your mind state, you're never going to get to the point where you trust your neighbor.
mm,
Change the mind state. If you have to understand, I want so much for our people, and I want so much for the kids who are growing up watching it, that the only thing I really need help with is the mind state of people. Because if they change their mind state, anything else that I might remotely need help with would be easy.
right. Agree.
Change the mind state, man. That's why I
Done.
don't have no problem being able to help somebody, because what sweat did that take off of your back to say, hey, man, that was very good. It would be a little better if you did this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? I know somebody over here. Let me connect you to it. Let me tell you why that don't take nothing off of me. Because if I can't do what you do, fuck am I going looking for your job for?
Exactly.
If I see something over there that I think my man can do, I'm gonna go tell my man go do that. He might be confused, like, well, why didn't you just go do that? And I'm like, well, I don't do what you do. I do what I do. And I'm still putting people in positions to do the same thing that I do. But I'm so confident in my position that I
And your
don't care if
gift.
you go get it. Right. Like, I'm like, God gives everyone a gift. Either you're going to tap into that gift and use your talent to take care of yourself or not. I take care of myself. I could
Mhm.
still put somebody on. I could still stand somebody and champion. I could champion the next man. Why not? I want DJs to be great. Let's just take DJs. I want DJs to be great. If I don't champion DJs, then I'm not really wanting DJs to be great. I'm almost
Mhm.
hating. I'm not hating on you. I want you to be good. I don't want you to be bad. So I'm going to be like,
Mhm.
please get better. Let me show you some shit to get better. You might take it like, this motherfucker can't tell me nothing. Cool. You the one whose mind state needs to be changed, not mine, because I'm there. And you don't hear anybody saying DJ Clark Kent is whack on the set. But that's the
Yeah.
thing. That's my thing. My thing is on that set, I watched the greatest DJ ever and Larry Levan, and I watched the greatest mixing DJ ever and DJ Flowers, and was like, oh shit, that I got to do better than that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get my bar. Like, and my bar is better than everybody else's bar. Anybody beat my bar yet. So I'm like, I gotta be on that trajectory all the time. And you know, that like when I mention those two guys, it's enough people that be like, but you're one of them guys too. I'm like, cool, I accept, but I'm still
Mhm.
looking at them like, are these dudes in heaven going, you're doing a good job?
Right.
And
That's your
and
standard.
that's my standard is Larry Levan and Grandmaster Flowers. Grandmaster Flowers, when I was 11, said, you're gonna be something. I was like, oh, that's all I needed. You're going to be
Mhm.
something. Oh, okay. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna run with it. I'm never gonna stop DJing. I'm gonna be the best DJ motherfuckers ever heard.
That's
And
right.
whether they think that still or not, there was a moment in time when you walked through New York City and you asked who's the best DJ, everybody said DJ Clark Kent. But then I was like, that's too much pressure. I don't want to be the best. I
Mhm.
want to be great. I
Yeah.
just want to be a great DJ. And there ain't a damn soul walking the earth who could say I'm not a great DJ. So I'm
No,
doing my job.
I agree. And I think within that, you obviously know that what God has planned for you, He has planned for you, and no one
Yeah.
can take
And
that away. But that's why you're so easy to share and
right.
give to others.
Right. Because I'm not threatened by someone else becoming something special. If that was the case, I I don't know how it would have worked out with me and Jay.
Oh,
Because he was the most amazing thing I heard. I was like, I got to work with this guy. I gotta help him. I gotta get him out the street. Because his talent is when I looked at his talent at the moment that I realized he was the guy, I saw everything that you see happening. I saw it all. I saw him becoming the best. I saw him becoming incredibly influential and powerful. I saw it all as soon as I heard him rap.
really?
I saw it all. I saw he's going to be the best. And then I saw, and the world's going to be turned upside down by this guy. And this guy's going to take his greatness and do all kinds of other things. I saw it.
Wow, that's a gift.
I just saw it. And
Has what you saw, the vision, has that been met? Was it exceeded? Is there
it's
more?
been met. It's been met. When people were like, yo, dog, did you think he would beat it? Yeah, I did. I believed he was going to be that deal. I believed he was going to be everything that you see. I believed it. None of this is a surprise to me when it comes to him.
Oh,
And people be looking at me like, yo, but dog, like it's outside of music. I was like, well, most people who become uber important in music become something else outside of music. And they're
oh,
looking at me like,
sounds familiar.
what are you talking about? I'm just like, dog, your power turns into something else when you really have real power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just does. So everything that people are seeing, it's almost like I'm like, cool. Yeah, okay. There's more.
How about
You know
that?
what I'm saying? There's more. Like if you think that's it from this guy who can still out rap every single person, like nah, dog. Like there's more. If
There's
he can
more.
still out rap everybody, there's more. There's more. And the more don't have nothing to do with music, because
Right.
he's still A plus with his pen. So think about it. If something starts to waver at any precise moment, he put an album out, shit on the whole game.
Right.
So everything that the more the extra that's gonna happen is it's ain't got nothing to do with music. You might do
You
incredible
know,
things in music, but it's about
yeah.
he was too smart all the time. He was smart. He was
Well,
never stupid.
yeah, he tapped into his gift. He tapped
Yeah.
into his gift, and it sounds like it had individuals like yourself who poured into
Oh yeah.
that gift once you found out how he was bent and what
Yeah.
God put within him that he is obviously utilizing in all the best ways to be an example
Mhm.
for many to
Yes.
look at how to influence and shift and move things.
With great power comes great responsibility. And he is
Responsible.
one responsible motherfucker to his hip hop saved his life.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? And you trying to save some lives with it?
love that. Yeah, and the power of your village, because you talk about your mindset and you talk about you talk about the mindset that you would like to help you, right? But I look at the mindset that you had and have around him and those that you deem as different and great. That positive energy around these individuals, I do feel pours into their ability to further make these things happen. Because if you're
Sure.
around negative energy, you're gonna get negative added, outcomes.
A
If
thousand
you're
percent.
around positive energy, you're gonna get that positive energy. And the way you're speaking to this, I feel like there's a surrounding of this positiveness. Not to say there's no negative energy at some point or at
Right.
some points,
Shit,
but
there's
for the
tons of
most
negative
part,
energy. But you can miss
oh,
me with that
tons.
shit.
Hey, listen. How about them apples?
I
Listen,
yeah, I watch negativity go, not him, not him.
right.
We're not gonna beat this guy. His positive mind state. Yeah, let that negative shit go to somebody else. He's not losing that shit at all. So
Good.
yo, leave him alone. Some people have given power to the devil. So we use that term. The devil is at work, or the devil is it. The devil doesn't even understand who I am,
Yeah.
because the success he had with Adam, he could never have.
Mm. That's a great segue. Um, you know, in all of our conversations, when I say, God is good, which I actually have tattooed on my body, you always correct me. What do you say? No, 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 no.
Well,
God is
cheeseburgers are good.
great.
God is
You,
great.
good.
Like how do
You almost had me wanting to change my tattoo, bro. I was like, I'm not gonna
I'm
go
not
back.
mad.
No, no,
I
but you would always say that, always. And
I mean,
as
and I'm not
God's
mad at the statement. Yeah, I'm not mad at the statement. God is good, because the root word of good is God. So I'm not mad
right,
at it. There's so many things that are good.
yeah,
How many things? So when you
come
say
on,
there's so many things that are good, like you parallel them to God?
right.
Never. God is
I
great.
love that.
When you want to parallel something to God, you want to be great. You want to be the greatest. You want to possess greatness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to possess goodness. You're a good
Right.
DJ. There's a good DJ. There's a great DJ. Well, God's favorite is going to be great.
And I was just about to say, as God's favorite DJ, it is evident
Yes, I mean,
that God plays a significant
yeah,
role in everything you do. I mean,
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And how's that kind of helped you with navigating through all these different scenarios across both personal and professional life?
Because I believe he is the planner.
Fair.
Because if you want to hear some funny shit, try to tell God you're playing.
Boom.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and But like our lives are a speck of dust in the thought of God
Yep.
because there's so many lives. It's a speck of dust. You gave me a speck of dust and I'm here with that speck of dust still. Yeah, that's your fault. I appreciate it. And I will do my best daily to show appreciation to that extra day every day.
Mm.
Good, bad, or indifferent. Think about this. Let's say you have what you would say as a bad day. You still had a day.
That part.
So is it bad? No. Everything that you think is bad, there's a positive to it. Like, oh, it was a bad day, but you had a day. Like, you know what? You're right. Forget it. Because it's over once it's over.
Yep. Yeah, that's like the happiness of your life really depends on the quality of your thoughts and the way you look at things.
Speak on that.
How about that?
I stay in a place that says God got us, so we gonna be all
We
right.
go right. Listen, that is yes. I champion that a ton, and you know another element I see in you that's a major component of this is obviously your family. You know,
Yeah,
it's your
yeah,
family. It's super first for
yeah.
you, and I've seen you pour into your family in both the good and the bad and challenging
Mhm.
times,
Yep.
and with all that you do, how do you find that balance as well? Is being a leader and
There is no
coach,
balance. There is no balance.
no balance.
It's God, family, and everything else after.
That's right.
I literally have a signature that said God, music. I mean, it's God, family, music. Everything else is bullshit.
Mm.
Why? Because music is the embodiment of who I am, and like everything that happened to me spawns from the fact that I love this music. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I turned
Mm.
into a whole bunch of other things, but if I didn't do like have this thing first, I don't know if I'd have made any of those other choices.
Right.
So I'm here because of it. But
Love that.
God is first. God gives me the ability to do whatever for my family. And like if you really, really think about it, like as people, if we think about it, what matters after that, honestly? Because we're put here to flourish and multiply, right?
Yep.
If that is the job, then that we gotta do our best with our families in that flourishing and multiplying.
Mm-hmm.
So what else matters? Nothing. We got our time on this earth. We put some people on this earth. We gotta make sure that they're happy.
Yep.
I don't want my son to be a producer because I'm a producer. I don't want my daughter to be an artist because her grandfather can draw. I want them to be happy. That's it.
Yep.
I want them to be happy. If you feel like you want to be a garbage man and you're gonna be happy being a garbage man, lift up all that garbage.
And do you?
Yeah, like be happy. I just want them to be happy.
And how's that going? Do you see them truly being happy?
I see them having fun. I see my daughter, there's struggles with being an artist, but when she's painting, she's happy. My
Yep.
son, there's struggles with being a producer. When he's producing, he's happy. My wife, she loves being an interior designer. There's struggles within it, but when the projects are coming together, she's happy.
Mm-hmm.
I want their happiness.
Yeah, and there's no
I
price.
done did everything, dog. I done did everything. Everything I wanted to do, I did it. I want them to do everything they want to do. I want them to be happy. I
And
want
you're helping me create the lanes.
everybody. I really want everybody to do everything they want to do and not think they can't do everything.
Yeah.
But if you don't believe in yourself, how you get that done? If you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to believe in the people around you and you're not going to
Yep.
trust them and it's not going to build. It's not going to become something else.
Yeah. So what do some people do that don't necessarily believe in themselves? What is it you can say to help somebody to truly believe in themselves and not allow society, programming, what's happening around in the world dictate that for them.
Take a second and look at all the disbelief you have in yourself and just say, what if? What if instead of disbelieving that you can do something, you just believed you could do something?
Doesn't hurt you to change
Maybe
that thought.
it's just your mind state, dog. It's just your mind state. You
It
think
is
I sat,
literally a
sat up
choice.
and you think I sat up and was like, I can make sneakers? You thought that? I never thought that. I just was like, can I work on something so I could just go after Bobby? And all of a sudden, I'm like 80 something projects deep.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Well, I made one and they came out right. Oh, I believe I could do it again. I ain't went to school for that shit. That's the reason why
Yeah.
they never offered me a job. Because I ain't got a freaking degree in design. But I can work that room better than most of the people sitting at their desks.
That's right.
Because I know what's fresh. They sit in a bubble. I know what's fresh. They're trying to make things that are fresh. They don't even know because they don't go outside, so they don't know what's fresh. You deal with somebody who's outside, they're going to help you get the fresh together.
Right. What's
I
your
didn't
why,
need a
dog?
degree.
No.
My
What's your
why
why?
is I want to make my grandmother proud.
Mm.
Even though she
And what
ain't
does that
here,
mean?
I just want her to be like, you're doing all right. It's always been that. Make my grandmother proud. She did a good job making sure I was all right. I want her to be like, he's all right. He's all right doing with his family. He's all right doing with his career. He's all right being a person. He's all right as a man. I want her to be like, he's all right.
Your grandmother.
Yeah, my grandmother. The most important person I've ever met was her.
Wow.
She's it. She raised me. If she made me know that I can be ready. Yeah, you made me know
Yeah.
I can be it.
She poured into you, and the power of your words. I mean, again, this is just confirming that and being responsible for your own words and the energy you put out in the universe, but also the words and the environment that you surround yourself with and within, right? You obviously had a grandmother who spoke further life into you, of possibility.
For sure.
Not of mediocrity, not of settling, not of not being able to do. It was the opposite, which literally has now pushed you through so many different doors and arenas that you probably couldn't have ever even thought of.
The crazy thing is about going through all those doors and those arenas, I didn't even think of it when it was happening. It just
Right.
seemed like, okay, this is what's supposed to be happening. Or this is just part of it. You want to be this. Well, this comes with that. So, like it took me till I was 53 to look at my career and go, oh shit, I might have done some things here. Like I never looked at my career. I was just like, what's next? What we doing next? And then my wife made me like stop and go, look at all of this
Body of work.
stuff. Yeah,
Look
like
at all
look at
this.
all this stuff. And like it was really hard to because I never want to be the guy who just lacks on his laurels. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, there's more to do.
Right. Not complacent. Yeah.
Right. I don't want to be like, yeah, the world owes me because I did. The world don't owe me shit. It was my job to do those things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to do it. I want to do it.
Does your grandmother play, and I don't want to call it like a mentor, but is it kind of like a mentor? Or like, or have you ever had, I know you're asking this, have you ever had a mentor?
Nah, but I had a great example of a person. And that's all I needed. I looked at her like, I don't think there's anybody walking as a better person than you.
Mm.
Like I remember I told her she was my hero. I told her Jackie Robinson, Malcolm X, and y'all are my heroes. She was like, well, now and then I said the words that got her mad. I said, I look up to y'all. And she just was like, now that's where you're wrong.
Mm.
And I was like, what? She said, you can't look up to anybody. You have to look at them because no one's above you. And I was like,
Jeez.
all
Look at
right.
this.
No, she fixed everything. She fixed
Mm.
everything. So instead of looking up to people, I look at them. And she made me understand what she meant. She said, because let's say you look up to this person, you think the world of them, and they do one human thing that doesn't make sense to you, you're going to start to look
Exactly.
down on them. And I was like, okay, I get that. I get that. We're all humans. So we all can do something that's ridiculous at any precise moment,
At any point. That's the human
at
nature
any
in
point.
us.
And what's crazy is we might think it's ridiculous. They might think it's perfectly fine. So it's like, who's the judge?
Mm.
So I'm not judging nobody. I'm gotta do what you want to do, bro. I just know I got some shit in me that says I want to be great at what I do. I'm not
And you
worried
want to
about it.
help.
Yeah,
And you want to help.
yeah. What's crazy is it's like I don't even look at it like I want to help. I want the best thing to happen. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I want the best things to happen. So like when it's an artist, I want the best artists to happen. When it's a DJ, I want the best DJs to happen. When it's a sneaker, I want the best sneakers to happen. Whatever I'm into, I want the best. I want my kids to be happy. I want
Right.
my family to be happy. I want the best for them. I want them to experience and do whatever they want to do. Just let the things happen. Oh
Is that
shit.
some of the premise behind Yellow Brick?
Yeah. I just wanted to give a little bit of a, if I can help, I will help.
What's the premise behind Yellow Brick?
Well, they came up with this idea, and I thought the idea was a good idea because I don't think the game should be sold. I
Mm.
think it should be told. How do we get the game to be better if you're trying to sell it? You gotta give it away.
Mm.
So that's why I give scholarship at Yellow Brick. I don't like I've never made a commercial where like you gotta come yell it. I'm just like, how can I get you a scholarship? How can I make it
Mm.
so you ain't gotta pay? Why? Because it should be given away.
Mm.
Give it away.
Well, in the theme of giving
If you
away,
follow the Yellow Brick Road, where do you get? All right,
that's right.
right.
Done. In the theme of giving away, 3 seeds you'd want to leave with the stewards of culture moving forward. What would 3 seeds be?
Be honest. Learn how to cultivate your culture
Mm.
because it's yours. And listen to the youth because you'll get a lot of gain listening to the youth.
I love that. Well,
I
brother,
would
you know
add
we could
another
do
one.
this.
I would add
Go.
another thing. I would be like, be your best all the time. You know,
Even in the
because if
midst of all
people,
turmoil, everything, just be your best. What you can
you have
control.
to exactly be your best all the time because though there may be turmoil and craziness going on, you still have the ability to be your best, and being your best can shine in any moment.
Mm.
So be your best
And
all the
shine in any
time.
circumstance.
Right. Last night I was doing a party. I thought the party was gonna be on one floor. Party was on another floor. I might not have loved the room, but the party was upside down. And I'm gonna be my best no matter where I'm at. So just put that forward all the time. I gotta go.
But
I gotta
brother,
catch this plane.
I love you so much. I thank you for this
I love you
time.
too,
You
man.
are I'm glad that
We could
this
do a
will
part two.
be
We could do a part two if you want.
Oh, we will, but I just want to document you are a treasure, bro.
Thank
I
you.
love
I
you
appreciate
deeply.
that.
I love you
I love you
greatly.
too. You know that.
You're appreciated. I thank you. I want you to travel safely, but know that we are here to help you as well. And I'll leave it at that.
And I received that. You are literally the guy that made me receive that.